and you think, well, I'd rather go out and party tonight. I should be working on this. I'd rather go out and party. It's like, well, why not? It's like, oh yeah.
There's a limited amount of time, and yes, every minute we throw away. Yeah, I completely understand. So if you look at
arithmetic helps too.
In which sense?
Well, this is something I've done with big groups of students and my clients as well. It's like, okay, I ask students in particular between the ages of, say, 18 and 20. It's like, well, how much time do you waste in a day? Is it an hour? People say no. Is it like 4 hours? No. 10? No. It's usually about 6. I can get a group of 200 students to agree that they're just wasting 6 hours a day. No, and by their own definition of wasting, right? So, okay, so then we do some mathematics with that. We've got the 6, that's fine, 6 hours a day. Okay, so that's 40 hours a week. All right, so then I think, well, what's your time worth? They think, well, minimum wage, because most of the students, if they went out to work, they'd only get minimum wage. But that's not right, because that's a discounted version. Their time is worth way more than that if they're working on something useful, because it's an investment. So it's perfectly reasonable to assume that if you're a reasonably bright student, your time is worth $25 an hour or something like that, because of its potential for future payoff. It's okay. Well, that's $1,000 a week. Right, so it's $4,000 a month, it's $50,000 a year. In 4 years, it's $200,000. So that's what wasting your day is costing you. It's like, let's make no mistake about it. You're going to be $200,000 poorer in 4 years because you're wasting your time. Is that really what you want to do? You're rich enough so that you're willing to forego that $200,000. Well, no one's ever sat them down and said, look, put an estimate out of the value of your time. Figure out how much of it you're wasting, and then ask yourself if you really think that that's a good idea. Because it's actually not a good idea, and I don't think anybody thinks it's a good idea.
Yeah, damn straight. I think it ties into if it gets measured, it gets managed. The moment you start putting stuff down in numbers, that does something to our brain.
Well, it's part of the goal-setting issue. It's like you calibrate things and make them precise. You can no longer hide from it. And the funny thing too is that, because I also ask the classes the same thing, well, do you enjoy yourself while you're wasting that time? And the answer is always no. People feel terrible. It's like, they're watching one YouTube video after another that they're not even interested in, or they're watching like endless amounts of pornography or some damn thing, or they're playing video games, not because they want to, but because they can't stop. And they know they should be doing something else. It's not enjoyable time. So not only is it and that's part of why it's wasted. It's like it's not productive and it's not enjoyable. Well,
so how much of that procrastination is, because setting goals is a great counter to that, so how much of that behavior, if you look at it, because it's not rational behavior, is also sort of kind of same like goal setting, wired into us because of our evolutionary path? I've always wondered about procrastination in myself, like why am I like that every now and then?
That's a good question. Well, look, procrastination needs no explanation. The answer to should you do something difficult and energy intensive is no, because it's difficult and it's energy intensive, right? So there actually has to be your default position can easily be, no, I'm not going to do that difficult and intensive thing. There should be some internal resistance to doing that because it's costly. Okay, well, but then you think, well, wait a second, there are conditions under which investing in something intensive and energy demanding is appropriate. Well, yeah, but you got to specify the conditions. Like, why should you listen to yourself? You can think about it this way. Why should you listen to yourself if you're an idiot? You know what I mean? If you don't have a plan, your body's thinking, no, I'm just going to sit here and take it easy because who knows when the next antelope is going to come along so I can kill it. I'm just going to lie here like a lion and wait. Yeah. It's like, no, you need a reason that's a bad idea.
And I think a track record, like the goals and the reasons and that you've already chased after a few antelopes, for example, and you've actually managed to do it. So you can.
Well, there's that too. Because your deeper self might be saying, well, you want me to get up and do something. What makes you think I can trust you? No, you're not just running down some blind alley. Well, if you've had some victories, you can say, no, we're serious about this. And then the goal setting too, like I would think about it more like, it's more like the development of a vision. It's a better way of thinking about it, I think. Because goals it's a bit narrow in a sense. The idea is that you can have a vision of the future and a counter vision. And that you, not only can you have it, you need that. It's without that you won't move forward against your procrastination. And you need real reasons, and terror is a good one. Terror is great, man.
Yeah, I've noticed that in myself as well. Like I said, the part of the intervention from the self-offering program I think about most is the negative scenario. I'm like, no, that's not going to happen.
So what did you envision? And I don't want you to expose anything that's too personal, but what did you envision when you thought about what the way things could fall apart?
Yeah, well, by, for example, shying away from the stuff that scares me, we'll make sure that I don't, for example, with this podcast, sometimes we have to do stuff that, well, we find a little scary, or we have to talk to people in front of a crowd, which is always a little scary as well. And I have been known for myself to be either really risk-seeking in the adrenaline sense, or really risk-averse. And if I, feed that risk-averse behavior, I'm going to go out of the way of challenges which will bring me a great bounty or a great reward or knowledge or whatever. And I have always, in life I've shied away from challenges like that, especially in my youth. And one of the things I wrote down, that's not ever going to happen to me again, or stuff that I went through when people opposed me in the pursuit of my goal, and I had to fight for my right to proceed. And I wrote stuff down that might happen to me if I get overwhelmed by other people or don't stand up for myself. And that every now and then when I get in situations like that, that's what pops to mind. I'm like, I have to fight for it.
Right. Well, to lay out a vision of yourself as a weak failure 5 years down the road should be sufficient, and to really think through what that means, right? You're sick of yourself, you're bitter, you're resentful, you're angry, you're physically ill, you're depressed, you're anxious, you're hopeless, and you're of no use to anyone. So you're also making not just yourself miserable, but that you're actively setting out to make the people around you miserable because you're so angry, and you're not good for them. It's like, then you think that through. Is that the way that I want to live my life? Minute to minute, hour to hour, day to day. It's like, hopefully, if you really think that through and you allow yourself to feel it, then you think, no, how about we don't do that? That sounds like a bad idea. We'll just not go there.